So it's been about a few weeks, 3 weeks since my last run. And just to catch you up with what happened, in Feb, we obviously tried to accomplish the other milestone, which was running 100 kilometers in 1 month. We had done it in January, but what happened in Feb was that the Netherlands was hit by quite a big snowstorm, and that meant that we lost 10 days of our time to run. And Feb is also quite a short month. There are only 28 days in the month of Feb. So 10 days out of the 28 lost was actually quite a challenge in order for us to continue reaching our goal of running 100 kilometers in 1 month. But somehow I decided to push through, but in doing so, I picked up this injury. It's not a new injury in the sense that I've had it before. I've had it when I played squash. Or let me put it this way, I've actually felt this type of injury around my knee when I played squash as well as when I played hockey. But this time it felt a bit different because I felt I was quite active at those times where I was still active. It was very different because there was a lot more lateral movement. When you play hockey, you go from side to side, and that was obviously one of the things that could have aggravated it. But this time it was a bit different because the running was just sort of, you follow a straight line. I guess the difference was in recovering for this, I still had the thinking that it was similar to the previous injuries that I had, and the same treatment would apply. You sort of have to rest for a bit and keep foam rolling your ITB as well as your glutes, but it didn't seem to help this time. And what actually changed for us was the fact that while we were treating it the same way, like I had done with my ITB before, Jazz, actually from Jazz Up Your Wanderlust, contacted us, and she has a background obviously with helping people with similar type of injuries. As soon as she watched the video of ours and heard the clicking noises, she actually mentioned a term which was something that was quite new to us, which was the fact that your VMO muscle might be weak, meaning, I don't know what the proper term is for VMO, but at the end of the day, your VMO muscle helps with keeping your knee in alignment. So if I'm hearing those clicking noises, that means there must be something wrong. So we actually looked up into it and we found out, it's really a problem, and it's something that a lot of runners also face. Maybe also a lot of people as they get older also face that issue because not a lot of people train that muscle. In recovering and doing a lot of research for it and speaking to Jazz, we actually realized that there were a few ways to test if this is true. And while testing it, we realized, it actually is a problem. I do have a weak VMO muscle. I do have weak VMO muscles in my left leg. And obviously, with that being said, we obviously looked at the approach to try tackle this. And one of the people that's actually vocal about this situation is a guy called Mr. Knees Over Toes. And he has basically done a lot of research, and through his own injuries was able to determine the fact that a lot of knee pain and weak VMOs come from the fact that people's knees do not go over their toes. People are sort of taught that their knees should not go over their toes, and even the same if you have to look at any of the footage of me squatting, my knees aren't predominantly over my toes, whereas for him that was actually something that he found that for people who practice and consciously try get their knees to go over their toes, they have less knee surgery. So he's got a few obviously approaches to it, such as walking backwards. And in walking backwards, it forces your knees to go over your toes. In fact, he mentioned the fact that in Japan, it's something that they actually do. You will find people walking backwards in the park. And if it's based on knee ligament issues or anything like that, I do not know. You have to obviously ask him, and he can give you the research. Or you can check actually his YouTube channel to find out more. Even on Imola's side, she says that when she had a knee injury, and she has had a knee operation before, 2 knee operations actually, where she tore her ACL and I think the MCL as well. As part of the recovery, she had to walk backwards. So there's actually concrete evidence that walking backwards can help with recoveries for your knee injuries. So he's quite an ambassador. He's actually quite vocal about this. He helps a lot of athletes in America actually recover and strengthen their knees. In fact, he actually calls it bulletproofing your knees through doing certain exercises. So one of the exercises is making sure you sort of do lunges where you force your knees to go over your toes. Eventually add on weight, as well as doing a lot of squats. So by doing your squats, making sure that your form is correct, that your knees go over your toes and your bum touches the back of your heel. And in doing that, as well as some of the exercises that he's mentioned, such as putting a foam roller under the weak knee and lifting up slightly to sort of build strength, as well as standing against a wall and just basically almost doing a calf raise but with your heels, doing those exercises, I've been able to do that, and it has helped my knee significantly. There is still a bit of pain, but as I keep on doing the exercises, it gets better. It was actually a few days ago that I was able to walk down the stairs without actually holding the side. I haven't been able to do that a few weeks ago, so obviously rest is a big important fact, but the day after I actually started walking backwards, I had the confidence to walk downstairs without holding the rails. So yeah, as my journey to get back into fitness has been stopped, I feel very confident and comfortable with the fact that I'll be running and moving pain-free again, especially around my knees. So I need to obviously carry on doing the same thing. When it comes to just life in general, I think we've obviously gone through a lot, myself and Imla, during the past few months, and one of the things that's we've really seen as important to us is the fact that we need to look after our health. So it's very weird that after I got this injury, I obviously had the excuse, in inverted brackets, to sleep a lot more. And in sleeping a lot more, I definitely feel a big change, a huge difference actually in the way I approach the day, the way I feel stressed, the way I interact with my day. My energy levels are great. I feel happier, I feel more at ease, I feel calm, I feel that, I don't feel very emotional about certain decisions that I make anymore. I feel like I am at peace, and that obviously comes from sleeping more. So the thing is, at the end of the day, we can dedicate our time and our lives to a lot of things which don't really matter, like, chasing money and what the next big idea is, and making sure that you look very successful in your career and in your personal life by flaunting everything on Instagram. But those things actually don't mean much at the end of the day if you're not taking care of the most important things. So definitely one of the things that we're going to be working on in the next few months, and obviously for the next few years, I think, and we'll obviously dedicate time to documenting the process and showing it to you guys, is obviously working on our health and our fitness. Me going back to South Africa right now at the moment gives me the opportunity to work on my fitness and my health, because gyms are open, compared to the Netherlands, where I have been here for the last 3 months and I haven't been able to really go to the gym unless it was at Imla's workplace. And that for me is really important, because this pandemic has definitely put my health into question. It's made me prioritize and think of my health a lot more. As I mentioned, this injury has helped me appreciate sleep, but at the same time, I know I need to be moving more. I know I need to be more active. I know I need to be lifting weights and punching boxing bags a lot more and moving. So this injury has been able to let me know how important sleep is, but also at the same time reevaluate what is important to me. And in doing so, I definitely want to dedicate a lot more time to my fitness and my health. So it's going to be an interesting journey. I'll be getting back into shape. At the moment, I am definitely around 10 to 12 kgs over the weight that I want to be at, where not that I feel comfortable at, but where I'm really feeling and looking like an athlete. So the journey begins now. Obviously, right now, while we're speaking, it's the day before I fly back to South Africa. And when I get back, obviously, I'll need to rest a little bit. But after that, it's day one and we start the journey. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and keep tuned for the next one. Bye.